yesterday morning, but since we can't get enough, let's play it over. Banque Populaire from helicopter for contact. While Armel Leclerc is about to pass the Kerguelen archipelago, a helicopter flies over him and offers us these unprecedented images. Hello to the whole crew of the Niveaux. It's nice to hear people like that on VHF and to have French comrades here right in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Feels great. In the entire history of the Vendée Globe, it's the first time aerial shots are made so far south of the Indian Ocean. The result of a close cooperation between the audiovisual production of the race, the National Navy, and the TF1 group. We've been having a nice mano a mano with Alex these last days. It's true, he goes very fast in spite of the damages he's had. As soon as conditions aren't ideal to use his foil, he's able to exploit his boat's potential to go faster and stay in contact. Thanks to the accuracy of the positions provided by the race direction, several hours later, it was Alex Thomson's turn to be filmed. Evidently in great shape, the British chap didn't hesitate to put on a show.
Helicopter, this is Hugo Boss. I don't fully understand what you're saying, but I will come outside and say hello, Robert.
While the infernal duet is way ahead, around the middle of the fleet, still on the South Atlantic side, they're getting ready for virile weather conditions before entering the Indian Ocean. What Kojiro Shiraishi is undertaking is simply breathtaking. I'm right at the top of the mast. I replaced this vertical anemometer. As you can see, everything's in order.
Welcome to the office. I'll show you something. In this bag here, we have the start engine of VIII Ocean. It burnt yesterday. Burned completely. It's dead. Been dismantled. Everything has been done to it. It's dead. Rip. Gone. History. So unfortunately, we don't have a start engine anymore. And no start engine, no engine. No engine, no water ballast. No water ballast on a fixed keel boat, not a good look. So it's not a good news for us. We'll have to assess our options, as they say, and see if we find a solution. But if you have any ideas, let us know. Meanwhile, we are going to go for Operation Seagull. Operation Seagull. I'll tell you more tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Aventura.
Megérkeztünk a déli szelek világába, üvöltő 40-esek lassan. Így kell menni. Úton vagyunk az üvöltő 40-esek felé, de ezek már maguk is üvöltenek. Helyenként 24 csomós sebességgel megyünk, 30-32 csomós szélben. Úgyhogy klassz, tetszik.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Vendee Globe live show. We are live from Vendee Globe HQ in Paris. It's Thursday, December the 1st, 26th day of racing in this 8th Vendee Globe. Now, the front runners have now been in the Southern Ocean for 1 week and it is all on. Just 7 miles splitting the top two of Armel Leclerc and Alex Thomson. Alex Thomson now on starboard tack. Let's see if he can catch up. That big group in the South Atlantic also having a bit of a bumpy ride. Well, I'm delighted to say that joining me in the studio today, not one but two winners of the Solitaire du Figaro, Nicolas Lundven and Jan Richon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Well, yesterday we started the show with some video from Armel Lecléache of a visit that he was paid by the French Navy. We promised you that we could bring you the video that they shot today. It's had more than 500,000 views on Facebook. This is Armel Lecléache and Alex Thomson sailing north of the Kerguelen Islands in the Southern Ocean. Check this out.
The French helicopter, this is Hugo Boss. Go ahead, over. French helicopter, this is Hugo Boss. I don't fully understand what you're saying, but I will come outside and say hello, over. I'm sailing with two reefs, Staysail, the Reacher, and I'm sailing between 20 and 23 knots, 28 knots of breeze. Yeah, no, the race with Armel's been fantastic. It makes it more interesting now that I only have one foil. So I find it much harder on this tack. On port tack I am a little slow, but on starboard I am full speed. So no, I enjoy. It's good to be racing somebody like Armel. He keeps the pace. It makes me work hard and makes it very interesting. Well, the damage is very expensive because there is no foil. The foil is gone. So there is just a little stump, maybe 300 millimeters, that sticks out the side of the boat, which is broken and jagged. It makes a mess. So it doesn't help me. It makes me go slower. So I'm sure you can see on one side, on starboard, on freeboard, there is nothing. On bâbord, you can see the foil of them.
Populaire de l'hélicoptère Enos pour contaction.
Bonjour à tout l'équipage de Nivos. C'est plaisir d'entendre du monde à la VHF comme ça. Ça fait un petit moment qu'on n'avait pas eu de présence humaine. Donc très content de vous entendre. Plaisir d'avoir du monde aussi dans le sud de l'océan Indien. Donc merci à vous d'être là. Et puis très content d'être en tête ici au Kerguelen. Bon, c'est assez serré. On a Alex Thomson qui est pas très loin derrière moi, mais très content d'être aux avant-postes là depuis plusieurs jours. Et puis de passer les Kerguelen, ouais, c'est un passage important dans la course. Ça montre quasiment la moitié de l'océan Indien. Et puis un côté un peu assez sud par rapport au parcours. Donc c'est un passage important pour moi. Ça va très vite. Là, on est encore à plus de 22 de moyenne, donc c'est physiquement et mentalement c'est usant, mais bon, ça permet effectivement d'avoir des bons temps de référence et un bon chrono ici au Kerguelen.
Well, incredible stuff there. Breathtaking footage there from the Southern Ocean. That is the first time in this race's history that the boats have ever been filmed so far south. Just to put it into a bit of context, we also have a little clip of the Kerguelen Islands just to show you what life is like at that far south. Well, amazing scenery. Well, fellas, I mean, what do you make of that footage of those two going through the Southern Ocean? Jan, what are you thinking when you're seeing those pictures?
Well, first they're going really fast, they're sending it. We can see differences in sail configuration as well, and We can see obviously that Alex has lost his foil. He says it in the video. It's only about 300 mil left. So yeah, but they're really sending it. I mean, for sure, it's the battle is on. If no one breaks, like last time when Armel was fighting with François, it's going to be a good race until the finish.
Yeah, I mean, looking amazing. Nico, this is the first time that these boats have ever really been filmed this far south. They're down about 48, 49 degrees south, really quite far. Did you ever sort of think that you'd see pictures of the boats at this point of the race?
I don't think so, because we can just see pictures from the guy on board, but if the guy doesn't want to show you something, he will not take picture of that or not send them to you. So it's very interesting to see the boat on mostly from outside, from the helicopter. And we can see, as Johan says, that we can see quite a lot of difference in the sails configuration on board. And we can also see that Alex is pushing a lot his boat, probably more than Armel. But no, we can learn quite a lot of things.
Yeah, it's incredible to see stuff like that. Well, let's have a little look at how the race course is looking like today with our 3D animation of the day. We're going to start by taking a look at Quito de Pavon. We're starting in the middle of the fleet. Quito de Pavon there, slap bang in the middle, 10th place. But we can zoom right out and show you this fantastic view of how the fleet is spread out across the two oceans. Make sure you're strapped in now. We're going to zoom right back in on that fleet, and there's Armel Clearc'h and Alex Thomson. There they are, sailing just northwest of the Kerguelen Islands, just a handful of miles apart. Fantastic racing between those two today. Third place, 700 miles back, Sebastien Destremau, still keeping in touch with those front runners. And there's Jeremy Bayou, who jumps ahead of Paul Meyer into 4th place. Jan Ellis just behind, 350 miles back in 6th. And Jean-Pierre Dick, he now has a 200-mile lead on Jean Le Cam, who himself moves up to 8th place ahead of Thomas Ria. But there we go, straight over Quito de Pavon into the back group, the second half of the fleet. Alan Roura, Ender O'Coinin and Pieter Heerema to the west, winds of up to 30 knots. There's a charge in that group. Louis Burton, 11th place, Stéphane de Raison, 100 miles back in 17th, and Eric Bellion, 19th, 200 miles northwest. Well, fellas, it is all going on at the moment. It's the racing is just fantastic, isn't it? We're over 2 weeks in. How are you seeing the race panning out at the moment?
Well, it's always hard to say, but for sure within the next few days they're going to get, all of them are going to get hit by some quite deep low pressures, so they're going to encounter some heavy seas and big winds. So we might see a few more breakages, so the guys have to be really careful with their boats. And what's interesting is that we've got different groups, so obviously the front guys are a bit more spread out, but there's a nice little pack in the middle, and they're going to keep on fighting for a while. Yeah.
Well, talking about heavy winds at the moment, we can now cross live to Pieter Heerema on No Way Back. Hello to you, Pieter. How are you today?
Hi, how are you? Well, it's very rough. Yesterday was a rough day, it was a rough night, and it's at this moment very rough. I'm in the middle of the front passage, so there's a lot happening. I'm getting a big squall over right now. Yeah, it's rough, it's wet, but that's what it is, and I need to drive any moment now, so that's the situation.
Now, Pieter, just describe what it's like being on board a 60-foot monohull boat in conditions that you're in.
Can you say again, what is it with the conditions I'm in?
Yeah, I just wondered if you can describe what it's like being on board the boat in these certain conditions, Pieter.
Okay, I have winds around 35, 38 knots. And the wind has changed direction, so the waves are still from the old direction. So it's very uneasy going, and a lot of banging and smashing, a lot of water coming over, and the air is there's drizzling, so the air is very, very humid outside, but also inside the boat. So basically, it's not the kind of whether that you would prefer to see 35 knots is too much. The boat is much faster at about 25 knots or so. That's much happier going. But we'll have to pass this. The coming few days will be a little bit of this on and off. And then I hope that in a few days we'll be in a more stable wind environment.
So, Pieter, just tell us, what do you expect? How do you expect the weather to change in the next 24 hours?
I don't think the coming 24 hours a lot will change. There will be a few fronts coming by, and there's quite a lot of low pressure activity. But after that, it seems to be more normal in the sense that the changes will not happen so quickly.
And how is everything on board No Way Back today, Pieter? Are you happy? Are you sleeping well? Are you eating well? Is the boat okay?
The boat is fine, and I'm very happy with my fourth reef, which we put in at the very last moment. In fact, we've never even tested it. We've only tried it out in harbor or in zero wind conditions on the engine. So this was the first time. I'm very happy with it. It works a dream, and it makes the boat a lot safer and a lot easier. With these waves, you just don't want, at least I don't want to go full speed because there's still a long way to go, and my goal is to arrive back in Le Sable with a boat in one piece, myself in one piece, and I think this fourth reef is going to be helpful for that. For the rest, yeah, most things are okay. I still have the diesel leak, so I have a terrible diesel smell in the boat. But for the rest, it's fine. Moving, standing, moving around the boat is difficult. Eating is difficult. But we're managing, no problem, no worries.
Well, Pieter, we thank you for taking the time to call us today, and we'll let you get back to managing the boat. So thank you very much, and talk to you soon, Pieter.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Well, Pieter there saying that it's all on for him at the moment. Nico, you obviously know what it's like to be at sea when the wind is up on the boat on your own. Just describe what it's like being inside the boat.
Yes, Pieter is talking about 35, 38 knots of wind, so it's a lot. And I think the life on board is very, very wet and unfortunately also very cold. And going to be colder and colder in the next days. So I think the conditions are quite strong. And on top of that, after 25 days at sea, perhaps you don't have a lot of dry clothes and also fresh food or something like that. So when the weather is going to begins to be very cold, you need to eat a lot. But if you don't have fresh and nice food, it's very hard to eat. So it can start to be very difficult for them.
Yeah, and Johan, what would you be doing on board the boat, knowing that these winds are building? How would you be setting things up?
Yeah, obviously he's going to get hit by low pressure, so he's going to have to check the boat, check for eventual problems that might show up, or he can fix now before it's too late. You try and keep your stuff dry, so usually we call it stacking. You put everything on the top side so that it doesn't swim around in the water down to leeward. And he was talking about having 4 reefs in the main, so he's really trying to keep the boat calm, because these boats kind of go wild if you leave too much sails on. So I think he's doing a really good race for his aim is to finish, and he's doing a good job at that.
Yeah. Well, another man who's currently stuck in quite a lot of wind is Rich Wilson on Great American 4. We spoke to Rich this morning, asked him how things were going. Here's what he had to say.
We're going pretty fast here, but boats are going faster around us. So we've got about 26, 27 knots of wind, broad reaching. We have the Solent and 2 reefs in the main up, which is less than the software calls for, but we're still hitting speeds in the low 20s, so we're going as fast as I've ever gone on a sailboat. It isn't quite fast enough to keep up with some of these other guys. I just saw that maybe 10 minutes ago as well. He's just about 10 or 12 miles ahead, so maybe we'll see if we can track him down. But it's really good for him. He's been in pursuit for a long time, and Eric Bellion up to the north a little bit as well. They've been kind of relentlessly trying to get back to the group, and so good sailing for them. But we'll try to we'll do what we can to get them back. I mean, we were down last night actually to the Turi's on the staysail, in fact, and we hit our highest speed of, we were like 22 knots with that small sail combination up, and back up to the Solon now, and just hit a speed of 24 knots. And you're kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, so to speak. I think you're really dependent on the equipment, and you're dependent on the autopilots in particular. Autopilot makes a mistake, you can have a disaster in a pretty big hurry. But it's noisy, and it's vibrating, the boat's vibrating, and all the time, and there's sort of another motion to it, which is just this sort of jittery, like like an out of, a trolley car or freight train, something going down a downhill patrol on bad tracks, just jittery back and forth, high speed. And if you move through the cabin and you're not holding on, you're gonna lose your teeth or break your nose, or worse, you just go flying. And so just all the time have to be so careful. And if you're to venture up to the foredeck, sort of check out, see what's going on, check on anything, do anything, gotta be clipped on. You gotta be super careful every step of the way.
Well, incredibly descriptive stuff there from Rich Wilson. And it's worth remembering that Rich Wilson and Pieter Heerema, both in their 60s. So fantastic stuff for them. And we hope that they make it through this weather safely. Talking of the weather, let's have a look at what's going on the racecourse. We'll start by having a look at the front of the fleet. We can see from this chart, there's the two front runners south of that big high pressure. Great winds of around 25 knots at the moment. They're going to stay close to that red exclusion zone, but their path east looks relatively clear. Same sort of weather for Seb Joss. Meanwhile, Paul Meyer and Jeremy Bayou, they have the throttle down at the moment. They're in that green circle, trying to get in front of a big depression which is moving south from Mozambique. Bad news for Quito de Pavon. He has no escape in that grey circle. His only option now is to batten down the hatches and take 40 knots of wind on the chin. Let's have a look at the back of the fleet now. And the main group of boats, now ahead of the front of the wind, they're about 20 knots of wind at the moment. Alan Rohrer and Ender O'Coining on the left of the screen there, heading south in 25 to 30 knots wind. We're hoping they're going to start heading east sometime soon. But let's have a look at what it looks like 24 hours from now. We can see that the front is decreasing, passing over that main group. But just look at that depression in the bottom left hand of the screen. That is 40 knots of breeze. Alan Rohrer and Ender O'Coining at the moment heading straight for it. Well, that is some weather forecast that the back group are going to have to deal with. We mentioned the other day in the Vendee Globe Live that Kojiro Shirishai on Spirit of Hungary had to climb the mast. Well, he sent us back the video of him doing just that. Have a watch of this.
今からマスト上がります。マスト上がります。 今マストトップにいます。この、バーティカルのウィンドセンサーを変えました。この根元ですね、根元が結構大変だったんですけども、シカフレックスをやって、ネジもね、無事、止まりました。でコードも付け直して今作業終わったところです。こんな感じで。 付け直しております。
Well, I don't know about you lot watching at home, but that makes my stomach turn. That pretty much brings an end to another Vendee Globe live show. So I must say thanks very much to Johan and Nico for joining me today. Thanks, lads.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. And also thanks very much to Pieter Heerema on No Way Back. Thanks very much to Rich Wilson on Great American Fort. And of course, the French Navy for filming those incredible shots of Alex Thomson and Armel Leclerc. I'll be back same time tomorrow, where I'll be joined by special guest Mark Turner, CEO of the Volvo Ocean Race. Until then, bye-bye.